Okay, now we're going to go on to adding other pages to your teacher website. And we go over here to pages. And the next page you're going to add 2 pages. Okay, and the next page you're going to add is an About Me page or Getting to Know You page, something along those lines. Again, be creative, but we're going down here under Pages to the plus to add a new page. I'm going to call it About Me. You can call it anything you want. Feel free to be creative, please. So we go to a new page, and now we're going to add on a background. Now it kept the same background we had before, but I want a different one for each page. So I'm going to change image, and there are lots of ways you could do this, but you can upload if you have some images here you like. And I have a teacher banner here that I downloaded, so I'm going to go there. And there's my teacher banner. So there's my About Me page. You can adjust this a little bit. Again, you can make the background lighter or darker for readability's sake, but that's about all you can do with it. But there's my new banner About Me. And when you choose an image online, you want to choose one that's fairly high resolution and certainly one that is not copyrighted. So there's a banner. It looks good. That's nice. And then down here, we're going to do something on the About Me page. And so again, just as you did before, you can add text. So write something about yourself, or about, or you are going to add something about your views about education, about students, about learning, your mission statement, your beliefs about education, whatever. And so you're going to just do something to share a little about yourself, whatever you're comfortable with your students. So it can be about your family, about your pets, your hobbies, whatever you're comfortable with. And people vary in their degree of what they want to share with their students. But tell them something about yourself, because we want to learn something about them as well. You're also on this page going to include a picture of you. So you can do a headshot. You can do you with your pets, you with your kids, you doing something you enjoy, whatever that might be. If you look on my sample webpage, I have a picture of me on my favorite vacation. But put a picture about you on the page. And again, to do that, you're going to upload, and you can do it. You can go directly to, for my information, I could go to my photos and choose a photo on here. Just click on it. You'll be able to upload it. That's a little slow uploading, but my photos will appear in a minute, and I have millions of them. You can choose from there. So this page, something about yourself, your belief about your students, about education, about learning, your mission statement, something like that, and include at least a picture of yourself. You can put other images in there and make that creative, but that's the second page. The third page, and again, I'm just going to click the plus down here. And the third page, we're going to do something that has to do with your special groups of learners in your classroom. That can be your English language learners, struggling learners, accelerated learners, students with IEPs, whatever it might be. And so you're going to direct that lesson to them. Now, you're not going to put a lesson plan, but you're going to put maybe some support information, some background information, whatever it might be that will be helpful to that group of learners. Now, we're not going to call this the special learners page. Call it whatever it's about. And so I'm going to say, for this one, let's do a science lesson. Some of you will recognize this from the Science and Math Methods course. And so I'm going to put science lesson. Whatever you want, be creative, but don't call it your special learner page. There will be a little place for you to write something at the bottom, but we'll talk about that in a second. So our new page is going to be about a science lesson. I don't like this lined up this way, so I can drag it out so it's all in one line. You can move this around. And again, I don't particularly like that background, so I'll be changing that in a second. In fact, let's just do that now. I'm going to just Google, and let me move this up so you can see what I'm doing. Elementary science image. I actually have some in my clip art file, but let's just do a Google search here. so you can see how this works. And so I'm going to look for images and find something you like. You can do real students working, you can put in clip art. You just want to make sure that it is not copyrighted and that it's a pretty good resolution. And so if we do, let's say I like this picture here, and this one's fairly good resolution, 586 by 390. That's a little bit low, but put it in and see what it looks like. It's probably better resolution usually when you actually click on the site and then get your image. And this looks pretty small, but we'll try. So I'll save the image to downloads, and then I'll be able to put it back on my page when I get there. So if I want to put this image, and it may not work well as a header, but let's try it. Change image, upload, and I'm going to go to that image. And that actually looks pretty nice. And you can adjust it a little bit, but that's not bad. So there's my science lesson page. And I'm going to do a science lesson that we did in our class, our balls and ramps lesson. And so again, I'm going to put text. I'm going to make this one a heading, balls and ramps. Then down here, I would double click again. Now I'll do normal text. And maybe I'm explaining to parents, in class this week, we are learning about balls and ramps. And then you might continue a little bit of a discussion of what we did in class. We set up balls of different steepness on balls of different sizes, shapes, textures, on ramps of different steepness, and we were trying to discover which balls roll the furthest, the farthest, which balls roll the fastest, and so forth. So you can do a little description on there for those of you who didn't do this exercise. That's what we did. I might want to put a picture in here, so I think I'll upload an image from my pictures, from my photos, sorry. And again, you could save this to your desktop to save time. But if I go to my photos, I'm going to look for my balls and ramps picture. So here in my photos is a balls and ramp picture. Some of you might recognize that. And I'm going to put that in there. So there's a picture from balls and ramps, and we'll talk about it. Now, again, this page was supposed to be directed to one of your special populations of learners. And so for this page, I created a word wall in Spanish and English. So we'll put the word wall in down here. Shift that down a little bit. Double click. Upload. I have it as a screenshot on my desktop, and there's the word wall. Now I put it up there, but I can move it down here. I can make it larger, etc. So this, we can put text in and say that this is as a support for our English learners. We can recommend to parents what they might want to do with this, etc. So that's in the website. That's on the page. Again, we can write about it. We can double click and put some text down here, whatever we want to do with it. At the bottom of the page, and you can look on mine again as a sample on my sample web page, but on the bottom of the page, and make the background and emphasis darker, because we're really not going to put this on your final web page. You're going to get rid of this. But down here you are going to write, I used a word wall in Spanish and English for my English learners. This strategy is recommended in, and cite some research that you are aware of regarding the use of academic vocabulary and so forth. So there's your page. This is going to be your second page. These actually ended up out of order, but we can rearrange them. And you see it now comes up here. So we have a home page, we have an About Me page, and we now have your science lesson, which is your page for your special populations of learners. And at the bottom, you've noted which population this is addressing and why this strategy might be recommended based on something you've learned this year. So we'll take a break on this, and then we'll go to the last couple pages.